Good evening, everyone. Janice, Kitty Coo. Hello, 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 everyone. Hope we all had a wonderful weekend. Cement Shoes, good evening. Mary, welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope we had a wonderful weekend. We'll give it about 5 minutes for everybody to get their notification to get in here. Can't wait for some trivia. Loving this. Good evening, Sal. Hi, all. Hi, Sal. Welcome to tonight's trivia. All the trivia questions tonight are on law enforcement, tactics, equipment, and there is some criminals in there as well and how they were caught. But not a lot of them. But instead of normally we have 15 questions, tonight we have 20 questions total. I couldn't find a way to narrow it down and even more. I had 36 of them, but I narrowed it down from 36 to 20. So we have 5 extra questions plus the bonus. So 21 questions total. Should be fun. Put myself in my little window. Hello. Will, I'm in my little window. I'm just making sure I had the first page ready to go. Hey, 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 the gang's all here. Hello, Tammy, and welcome to tonight's trivia. Lemon pie. Good evening, lemon pie. Purple. Well, we're still missing a couple people. Pigeon Mac's not here. Or are they? Well, I hope everyone had a wonderful and safe 4th of July weekend. I know still got a couple of days until the actual 4th of July, but a lot of people were celebrating, getting together with friends and stuff, and barbecues or whatnot. It's so darn hot in Tennessee today. Oh, I'm sorry. It is 89 degrees here where I am right now, and that's hot enough for me. Hope you've been able to stay cool though. Another 40 seconds, and then we're gonna get this thing started. But again, all the questions just on tonight's trivia are about law. And Kenya, hey everyone, we're about to have a tornado here, so I'll see how long I can stay. Stay safe. Hopefully, you have a tornado shelter. We had back home in Wisconsin. Every farm has got a tornado, shelter. But if you have to, they say the safest place to be is in your bathroom, in the tub. It's 77 where purple is. All right, let's get the first page up there. Give me my little window. All the questions tonight are on Law and Order to Catch a Crook edition. All the questions tonight are rated between 1 and 6. There is nothing that is extraordinarily difficult, above a 6. So if the scale goes 1 to 10, so the hardest one tonight is a 6. So let's get the first question up on the screen for everyone. Question number 1. Since humans have been around, we have always had someone within our societies tasked with upholding rules and laws. When did the first modern police officer begin operations? When did the first modern police officer begin operations? Was it A 1629, B 1729, C 1829, or D 1929? You're in the Philadelphia area? Well, stay safe, everybody out there. Tornadoes or not, stay safe from the heat. Heat will kill you just as fast as a tornado. A lot of people don't realize just how quickly you can get heat stroke, and it's not fun to deal with. When did the first modern police officer begin operations? Got a lot of C's. Tammy's going with, I don't know, BC. C. This channel, LO, got here after I did a gift. All right, question number 1. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is C as in cat, 1829. 1829 is when the first modern police officer began operations. It was in a small 1-officer police department. That's why it says not police department, but police officer. It was an individual 1 officer in the actual police department in 1829. And it was just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Boston. 1829. All right, question 2. Local and state police departments and even federal agencies tasked with law enforcement have been given some pretty unique nicknames over the years. There have been the Crushers and the Bants, but where would you find the Mounties? Is it A, in all of the UK, B, in Canada, but not all of it, C, in Mexico, but not in Mexico City, or D, in all of the Cascade Mountains of the US? Where would you find the Mounties? Tiku, Cement, Mary, and Sal are all going with B, and so is Tammy and Lemon Pie. Baby. These are tricky, are they? Lemon Pie in adult films. The Mounties. Dun-dun-dun. In case you're wondering, the Crushers were a police force of um, officers who were tasked with breaking up strikes and what they called unruly individuals. They were called the Crushers. And the Banters are from New York City. The Banters, or the Bants. Dudley Do-Right arrested Barry Method up a mountain lion. Question number 2. Where would you find the Mounties? All right, the answer to question number 2 is B as in boy in Canada, but not all of it. The Mounties do not have operations or continual operations in Quebec or Ontario. But in all of Canada except for Quebec and Ontario, not continuous. They have been in Quebec and they have been in Ontario, but not at a regular basis. But B as in boy in Canada. All right, question number 3. Believe it or not, this former professional basketball player is a real law enforcement officer. He went to the Police Reserve Academy and passed all testing. He may even run for sheriff down the road. Who is it? Is it A, Michael Jordan, B, Jason Kidd, C, Shaquille O'Neal, or D, Dwayne Wade? Believe it or not, this former professional basketball player is a real law enforcement officer. He went to the Police Reserve Academy and passed all testing. E, Barry Morphew. Barry Morphew. I'd make an awful, he'd be an awful officer. I had someone, speaking of Barry Morphew, this is totally off the subject, but I had someone send me an email today and ask me if that recently they said that they know where Suzanne is most likely buried, but it's a hard spot to get to. That's pretty much an exact quote of what they said. The person who emailed me it asked me the question: if that's true, why have they not gone there with cadaver dogs to know? That way they know for sure if there is somebody actually buried there, because a cadaver dog can pick up the scent of 1 in 1 trillion of a particle of from decomposition. 1 in 1 trillion. So why haven't they sent cadaver dogs there to make sure she is there? That's a good question, and I don't have the answer to it. But can you imagine getting arrested by Shaq? Right? Told his kids, if you want my cheese, get 3 degrees. Purple's going with D. Mary's going with C. Believe it or not, this former basketball player is a real law enforcement officer. Jan's going with C. Shaquille O'Neal. The guess. Excuse me. All right, question 3. The correct answer is C as in cat. Shaquille O'Neal. When he was still in the NBA, he started his training to become an actual law enforcement officer. And he went to the Reserve Academy. He is sworn in. He has a job as a reserve officer. And he has kicked around the idea of down the road actually becoming the sheriff of the county where he resides. But Shaquille O'Neal, C as in cat, is the correct answer. Question number 4. Ooh, 4. What was the FBI originally called from 1908 to 1935? Were they called A, the Bureau of Crimes, B, the Bureau of Investigation, C, the Bureau of Theft and Larceny, or D, the G-Men? What was the FBI originally called from 1908 to 1935? Yes, if you enjoy this trivia night, please hit that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. I love Shaq playing a cop in Grown Ups. Where's Rykart? I don't know. Probably driving on the roads of America right now. And I hope they're safe and having a great weekend. The federal breast inspectors. You don't know anything about basketball? How about action movies? What's his name? Not Vodcon Van Damme, but that other guy who did action movies. He's a sheriff's officer. I'm drawing a blank on. I can picture his stupid face, but I can't remember his name. Hello, Kelly, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. Right now, we're on question number 4. What was the FBI originally called from 1908 to 1935? Question number 4. Submit choose to go with A. Janice. D. Steven Seagal. That's his name. Thank you, Lemon Pie. Steven Seagal is a real sworn-in sheriff's deputy. Yeah. A lot of people think he's a complete joke, but Smith chooses changing his answer to B. Seagal is a disgrace. I think he definitely likes to tout himself as knowing a whole lot about a lot of everything. What was the FBI originally called from 1908 to 1935? Stardust, welcome to tonight's trivia. How are you? Welcome. Excuse me. What was the FBI originally called? That's a good question. And this is one that I personally did not know until I put these questions together. The ones that I don't know, I've put actual little check marks next to. On the answer key. You guys can't see the answer key, nor can I show it to you until after the trivia is over with. Because, well, you know all the answers then. Janice changing to B. Stardust, good. I'm glad you're having a wonderful weekend. All right, question number 4. The correct answer is B as in boy, the Bureau of Investigation. They didn't become the FBI, which is Federal Bureau of Investigation, until 1935. They were known as the Bureau of Investigation before that, because they were not a federal agency at that time. They only worked out of the Washington, D.C. area from 1908 to 1935. The Bureau of Investigation. I was there. All right, question number 5. Number 5. Which one of the federal authorities from this list below was the last agency to go digital in 2012. They have since doubled their entire department to catch up. Is it A, the CIA, B, HSA, which stands for Homeland Security Administration, C, the USMC, which is the United States Mail Service, and D, FBI, who was the last federal agency to go digital in 2012. And to put it in perspective, ladies and gentlemen, they hired over 18,000 people, and they work for this agency, but all they're doing is digitizing all of the records that they have in their archives right now, going back through every case that has been closed and digitizing everything. And they figure it's going to take almost 20 years to complete the entire digitization of all paper records. 20 years. 18,000 people working just to digitize records. E, the Department of Paper and Pens. The last federal authority to go digital. Federal agency, sorry. Sal's going with C. Kitty Coo, Mary, and Lemon Pie are all going with C. Sub and Shoes are going with B. Kelly P is going with C as well. It's Department of Paper and Pens. It's good. I like that. No, don't forget about the old typewriter. They were probably still using typewriters in 2012 before they went digital. Pen, paper, and typewriters with whiteout. The bikini waxers of America. Question number 5. Which one of the federal authorities from the list below was the last agency to go digital in 2012? The correct answer to question 5, ladies and gentlemen, is D as in dog, the FBI. They had to hire 18,000 people to digitize all their records, and it's going to take 20 years. They figured 20 years to digitize everything because they were still using the old system up until 2012. Can you imagine the Federal Bureau of Investigation and how many records they had that were still, are on paper, and somebody's got to digitize them all? That's a hell of a lot of paperwork if you think about it. How many files do they have open on people, or investigations they've been on? I mean, just think of all that paperwork, how many trees they had to cut down for all that. That's a lot of work. UPS is last to everything. Yeah, the United States Post Office is, but the federal post, when it comes to the post office is the only branch of the federal government that has ever turned a profit. They're mandated to actually be profitable. You ain't going to see the military be profitable. You're never going to see the IRS be profitable, and we better hope the hell they're not profitable. But you'll never see any other branch of the federal government that in the United States that is mandated to be profitable. And if it wasn't for the fact that the United States Post Office has to prepay for the retirement benefits and health benefits for all of their employees, I think it's like 15 years worth of benefits for every single employee. If it wasn't for that mandate of having to dump all their cash into it, they'd be profitable every single year right now, even today. But they're not. Postage went up again yesterday. Yeah, just like everything else. But remember this: when it comes to postage, the United States Post Office still sends a letter from East Coast to West Coast. cheaper than anyone else can do it in the world. You want to get scared of how much postal rates are? Look into what it costs the Royal Mail Service to deliver a letter versus the United States Post Office. It's scary. All right, question 6. Which federal agency from the U.S. has employees on every continent and even on every ocean of the world and may have even sent a couple agents into outer space? Is it A, the Secret Service, B, the U.S. Treasury, C, Homeland Security, or D, the Central Intelligence Agency? Which federal agency of the U.S. has employees on every continent and on every ocean of the world and may have even sent a couple agents into outer space? Question number 6. Bum, 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 bum. Repeat, Will. Who? Repeat. Who? Who what? Who what what? The last question? About the United States Post Office? Hope they all lost my files. D. Everybody's guessing so far the Central Intelligence Agency. For question number 6. Hope they lost your files. I don't know. I wonder if they have a file open on me. I know this much. They're ever come in here and look at the external hard drive that I have, the 3 terabytes, which is, about halfway full. I got about 1.5, 1.25 terabytes of photos and files and stuff that are on it. The United States Post Office posted recently to not mail checks. Yeah, I saw that, Janice. They're asking people not to mail checks anymore. Because people are stealing checks out of mailboxes. They're like, hey, look, well, this looks like someone's paying their bill. So they do is they break it, they open that mail up, and then they steal it, and then they wash the check and erase basically who you wrote the check out to, and then they just write their own names in. Sad the world that's come to this. We have the problem is we've become lenient on certain crimes. They should make the penalties for mail theft stiffer to deter people from wanting to steal checks in the first place. But they get light penalties, a slap on the wrist for getting caught for doing it. So why not do it? Question number 6. Which federal agency of the U.S. has employees on every continent and on every ocean of the world and may have even sent a couple agents into outer space? Jan's going with D. I think pretty much everybody went with D. The correct answer to question 6 is D as in dog. The Central Intelligence Agency has an agent on every single continent and ocean of the world. And they may have sent 2 into outer space, but they will not say who those agents were. Now, there's a couple people who believe that a couple of the Apollo astronauts may have been agents of the CIA, but they're not saying who those agents were. Other than to say that they may have sent them agents into outer space. Were they on the Apollo, missions? I don't know. Or they could just be pulling everyone's leg, anyways, But the CIA, as part of their actual plan, is to have eyes and ears on every continent and ocean. to know what's going on around the world. Even with all the satellites, they still have agents everywhere. I always love Colonel Flag from MASH. Flag. Who played Flag? You guys remember who the actor was who played Colonel Flag on MASH? Not only that, but when you put a flag up on a mailbox, bad guys figured it's money. I've never heard that, Janice. Well, you figure that there's outgoing mail. Where I live, in my community here, if you put the flag up, you have a 50-50 chance that the post office is even going to pick it up, because they're not required in my area to actually pick up mail. Deliver mail, but not pick it up. So a lot of people, when they go to work, a lot of the government buildings here and subcontractors, they have the big blue mailboxes on each and every one of the campuses for the but people just drop their mail into those. Edward Winter. All right. Thank you. All right, question number 7. Innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, besides on the internet, where it's the opposite. Why hasn't the FBI taken over the Barry Morphew case completely by now? Why hasn't the FBI taken over the Barry Morphew case by now? Is it A, what he did isn't a federal crime? B, they need more of a challenge than Barry? C, easier to make him vanish than convict? Or D, mountain lions on meth riding in Yugos? Innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, besides on the internet, where it's the opposite. Why hasn't the FBI taken over the Barry Morphew case completely by now? Because the state has definitely bungled the entire case. Why hasn't the federal government stepped in and taken over? Too busy digitizing paper records, right, Lemon Pie? A, but D is more fun. They like his smile. Barry. They need more of a challenge than Barry. The mountain lions don't like G-men. Also, I no longer write checks. Mine were stolen out of my mailbox 5 years ago. I probably write 3 checks a year. That's it. I got a box of checks, and I'm still on the same book of checks. Three checks a year. One for life insurance for me and my wife. And the other check I write is for our taxes, property taxes. And the third check that I write every year is a donation that I write to give to the United Way. But that's all I write checks for. And all 3 of those checks, I don't mail them. I hand deliver them. Too many paper jams in their scanner. Innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, besides on the internet, where it's the opposite. Why hasn't the FBI taken over the Barry Morphew case by now? The correct answer is A as in apple. It's not a federal crime. If they could prove that Barry did something with Suzanne and he took her across state lines, then it would be a federal crime. But since the crime happened in one state, supposedly, allegedly, whatever you want to throw in there, it's not a federal crime. Now, they could have charged him, obviously, the federal wise for casting her ballot. That's a federal crime. That's voter fraud. They could have sentenced him on that. And there's a couple other things they could have sentenced him on. If they can prove that he murdered her and collected the insurance, that could be a federal crime. That's interstate wire fraud at the very least. But the actual investigation and the case itself on the disappearance of Suzanne is a state crime, not a federal crime. All right, question 8. Which choice from below has the world's largest collection of pet human hair, carpet fibers from cars, trucks, and vans, along with the world's largest collection of paint chips? Is it A, all U.S. state crime labs, B, the CIA crime lab, C, CIA, C, FBI, or D, the Toyota car company? That lines. Which choice from below has the world's largest collection of pet hair, human hair, carpet fibers from cars, trucks, and vans, along with paint chips? A, C, 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 A, C, E, some weirdo down the block. Some weirdo has the largest collection of pet and human hair and carpet fibers, along with paint chips to That's funny. Because there probably is some weirdo down the street who's got like the world's largest collection of something, rubber bands, twine, or something. A, B, C, and D, and E. I think you got a good chance of actually being correct there, Purple. I think it's one of those. F, Richard Allen. Gene Anthony is going with the FBI, and welcome to tonight's trivia, Gene. I know I checkbook has dust on it. Yeah. I keep my checkbook actually in my safe. I don't ever need it. Like I said, I only write 3 checks a year. Yeah, I could do all 3 of those by digital, pay them online or use a debit card to do it. But I just assume write the check and turn in the paperwork, for the taxes and for life insurance in person. Along with, I know that it's been paid then. It's, I'm right there and they give me a receipt back showing that it's been paid. So Ethel Beauty Academy Funeral Home. Stardust is going with C. Which choice from below has the world's largest collection of pet human hair, carpet fibers from cars, trucks, and vans, along with the world's largest collection of paint chips? The correct answer to question 8 is A as in apple. All U.S. state crime labs have the largest collection of pet human hair, carpet fibers from vehicles, and paint chips. Although the FBI has over 5,000 hair samples of different individuals, different races, ethnicities, curly, straight, every kind of different kind of hair. They have over 5,000 different hair samples. And the CIA has over 8 million paint chips, house paint, car paint, any kind of paint. They have different chips. The CIA has the largest depository of paint chips, but it's not even close. That 8 million chips is not even close to when you consider how many different paint chips are just in the state of California. The state of California State Crime Lab has over 13.5 million paint chips in their database. 13.5 just in the state of California. Now you extrapolate that out over every single state and how many paint chips they may have, or hair fibers and everything else. It's a lot. It's a lot, and they have to keep that stuff on hand. They can't digitize that stuff. They have to be able to compare it for forensic reasons, side by side with something else that a sample that they may have found. Is this fiber from a van? Is from what year a van was made, and is it from a truck? Whatever. Same thing with hair. I pay property tax in person, cash, get receipt. All state labs, yep. Those are mostly sent to the FBI. All right, question number 9. As of 2002, this handgun manufacturer has become the most carried sidearm of federal and state law enforcement as their primary weapon. Which one is it? Is the manufacturer looking for here? Is it A, Sig Sauer, B, Colt, C, Glock, or D, Browning? As of 2002, this handgun manufacturer has become the most carried sidearm of federal and state law enforcement as their primary weapon. Which company is it? A makes sense. C, Glock 9mm, says Mary. Purple going with A. 11 by Super Soaker. Nerf. The Nerf Super Soaker. C, says Stardust. Sal's going with D. Cement Shoes going with Nerf. Gene going with C. As of 2002, this handgun manufacturer has become the most carried sidearm for federal and state law enforcement. Which company is it? Question number 9. Law and Order, Catch a Crook edition. You prefer A, but I prefer handgun manufacturer became the most carried sidearm for federal and state law enforcement. Which one? Which one is it? Do, 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 do. 10 seconds. Do, 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 do. Me too, says Mary. Janice is going with A. The correct answer to question 9 is C as in cat. The Glock 9mm is the most carried sidearm of federal and state law enforcement for its accuracy, lightweight, and durability. The Glock 9mm is the most carried. Between Sig Sauer, Colt, and Browning, they all make other handguns, sidearms, but when it comes to a secondary weapon, like an ankle bracelet, an anklet, smaller, hidden gun on their body if they carry one, the Sig Sauer is the next one in line, most carried. Sig Sauer, I believe they're a German company, but Sig Sauer used to be and Colt used to be the most carried, but it's now Glock. Glock owns that market. That's what you have is a Glock 9mm. I do not own a single Glock. I used to. I sold probably about 3 years ago. See, I have I got to think here. Four Colts. Got a couple old Western Colts. I have a Browning, but not a Glock. All right, question 10. Ted Bundy almost got the woman he had been hunting into his car. However, an officer with what police department stopped him and asked him if he could help? Was it A, the Seattle Police Department, B, Provo, Utah Police Department, C, the Dade County, Florida Sheriff's Department, or D, Portland, Oregon Police Department? Ted Bundy almost got the woman he had been hunting into his car. However, an officer with what police department stopped him and asked him if he could help him? Ted Bundy was using the ruse that he had a broken leg and was walking with crutches and had convinced this woman to get to his, to get into his car to help him. But an officer happened to see him walking and struggling and said, "Hey, I'm going to go offer my assistance." What police department was it? I like Sig Sauer better, says Mary. Mary's going with B on this one. Lemon Pie B, Cement A, Sal B, Janice Smith and Wesson, Tammy Hall B. Smith and Wesson makes a good handgun. Some good handguns. Yeah, definitely. Chitiku is going with B. Gene is going with C. Mary, I said B. B. I said B. Provo, Utah. Question number 10. Hello. Stardust is going with A, the Seattle Police Department. Ted Bundy almost got the woman he had been hunting into his car. However, an officer with what police department stopped him and asked if he could help? The correct answer to question 10 is B as in boy, Provo, Utah Police Department. The officer offered Ted Bundy assistance, and the rest is history. Now, and a very interesting story, speaking of Ted Bundy, is how close he almost came to getting and killing Debbie Harry, the lead singer of the band Blondie. He actually got her in his car. If it wasn't for the fact that she got spooked out by him and she realized that there was no door handles or anything on the inside of the door, she was able to shove her arm out the window because it was cracked a little bit and reach the handle on the outside of the door. And then Ted Bundy spun the car, tried to, go the opposite direction to make the car door shut, and her stay in it. But instead, it kind of flung her out of the car, and she was able to survive. But Debbie Harry, the lead singer of Blondie, almost became one of Ted Bundy's victims. Is that why no one helped me when I was on crutches? I don't know. I'm really sorry no one helped you, Lemon Pie. All right, question 11. Why are law enforcement officers in England referred to as bobbies and not blue bobbies? Is it A, because they don't all wear blue uniforms? B, because they look like bobble top toys? C, nicknamed after Sir Arthur Doyle? Or D, nicknamed after Sir Robert Peel? You didn't know that about Blondie? Yep. She actually did an interview. I think it was with LimeWire or one of those, and she talked about it in great length about how she accepted a ride from Ted Bundy, and she didn't know who he was at the time. Obviously, she didn't know he was a serial killer until sometime later. She saw him on the news when the trial had started, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's the man who almost killed me." Trust your gut instinct, ladies and gentlemen. Trust your gut instinct. Why are law enforcement officers in England referred to as bobbies? Tammy is going with S. Sal D. Cement Shoes B. Tammy D. I'm going to change it to Utah. I think your question behind. That's all right, though. We're on question 11. Why are law enforcement officers in England referred to as bobbies and not blue bobbies? Mary's going with C. Jean is going with B because it looked like bubble top toys. $15 seconds. Mary Frederick, I'm guessing. Sometimes that's all you can do is just use logic, deduction. Try to figure out the answers. Like, can I eliminate one of these? All right, now I have 3 choices. Is there anyone that can eliminate one of the others? You never know. All righty. The correct answer is D as in dog. Nicknamed after Sir Robert Peel. He founded the modern police department in England and was twice served as the Prime Minister in England. They're named bobbies, nicknamed bobbies after Sir Robert Peel. Question number 12. The first female sheriff took office in North Carolina in the early 1920s. As of 2020, what percentage of all state law enforcement officers are women? Only the state law enforcement, from the state patrols, your special investigation units, your local police departments, all of them. Is it A, 36%, B, 48%, C, 12%, or D, 24%? The first female sheriff took office in North Carolina in the early 1920s. As of 2020, what percentage of all state law enforcement officers are women? Oh, no. Man, we're going with 36%? Yeah, 100% in my fantasies. Think you're telling a little bit too much there about yourself there, Lemon Pie. I think Lemon Pie wants to be dominated. Nothing wrong with that. Just state law enforcement officers. What percentage of them are women as of 2020? Kitty Coo is going with D. Stardust A. My late mother-in-law was the first postmaster general from North Carolina. Wow. My grandmother worked for the United States Post Office for 46 years. One woman post office. She ran the office. She did the packaging. She loaded the truck. She did everything. She was a one-woman post office for a small town in upstate Minnesota. 46 years. And then she got hurt. She got ran over by an automated like trolley thing that moves packages. The machine had malfunctioned, and it sent a cart full of packages and boxes hurling towards her. And ran her over. But for 46 years, she was this one-woman post office. But it's postmaster. That's really hard position to get. Congratulations to your late mother-in-law. Jug to D, changing the C. My grandfather was Postmaster General of North Carolina, rode for Pony Express. Wow. That's going back some time there for the Pony Express by horseback. All right, question 12. The correct answer is C as in cat. Only 12% of all state law enforcement officers, sheriff, city, and state patrol, special investigation units, crime scene investigators, everything in law enforcement, only 12% of all those positions are filled by women as of 2020. Even with affirmative action and other things in line where they lowered the barriers, they still have not been able to attract women to law enforcement. That's the facts. They'd much rather go into law or or nursing or doctors or anything else other than law enforcement. Nothing has worked. Some places have been more successful and gotten a higher percentage, but the average is across all states only 12%. In where I live right now, we have one female officer on the entire force of over 100 men. There were 4, but 3 retired within the last couple of years. I checked into that, but there's currently only one female officer. There are so many in New Mexico. All seen Top Gun 1. All right, question 13. Rookie officer in Texas was working his beat when he got a call to go to this man's address. What did Raul Meza Jr. confess to this rookie officer on June 1st, 2023? Was it A, he killed his roommate, B, he was a serial rapist. C, he robbed a bank. Or D, he was the rookie officer's biological father. A rookie officer in Texas was working his beat when he got a call to this man's address. What did Raul Meza Jr. confess to this rookie officer on June 1st, 2023? E, overdue library books. Sal's going with A, lemon pie, and Mary are going with A as well. Raul Meza Jr. Question number 13 on the trivia for tonight. Don't forget, we have 20 questions plus the bonus tonight. So, total of 21 questions. E, ripping the tag off his mattress. Ooh, he's going to jail. A, for Sal, Kitty Q, Stardust Purple are all going with A. He killed his roommate. Question number 13. Excuse me. The correct answer is A as in apple. He confessed to this rookie officer that he just killed his roommate. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget this name, Raul Meza Jr. This man is a serial killer. Yes, he has been in and out of prison for violent crimes and murder, but they are just now starting to put the entire picture together of this man's life and all the people that have disappeared around him. Raul Meza Jr. is a serial killer. In mail order catalog for Jeffrey Epstein. All right, question number 14. DNA is a wonderful tool for law enforcement working to close cold cases. It also helped free the innocent from death row. Thinking about just DNA, what has really helped law enforcement make matches to close cold cases? Was it A, advancements in testing tools, B, families taking DNA tests, C, the Theranos scam, or D, blockchain ETFs? What one tool has helped law enforcement the most in regards to DNA? E, random guessing. Mary's going with B. QQ, B. Cement Shoes, B. Sal, B. My great uncle invented the airplane on a stick. Airplanes on a stick, like used in Top Gun, but more sophisticated. I have a news article. That is super cool. That is super cool. I always wondered who, somebody had to, think that up. B for purple, Stardust, B, Tammy, B. That guy looks guilty. fading goats from Guatemala. We have a farm nearby here that they have a whole farm of those little tiny fading goats. I haven't talked to the lady who runs that farm. She has alpacas. She has those fading goats, and I think she has chickens as well, but I'm not entirely sure. But she grows organic vegetables and she sells them at the farmers market on Fridays here. My wife always wanted to get alpacas, and I was like, no. Alpaca fur is super soft alpaca fur. I'm a genealogist. Love DNA. All right, question 14. The correct answer is B as in boy. Families taking DNA tests. It has vastly expanded the amount of DNA profiles that they had in the system. CODIS and other state agencies who had records, they're all pretty much going to CODIS or some variation of that now. But their DNA profiles that they had to match DNA against was very small. Now with 23andMe and these other, the ancestry DNA testing, that have vastly expanded the profiles that they can compare the DNA to, and they can now do familial DNA and reverse familial DNA, lookups through that. But families taking DNA tests. Question 15. Why did this man call law enforcement after he successfully made his escape out of the city and confessed to what he had done? Was it A, he wanted to be punished? B, he wanted to make sure he got credit? C, he just wanted to talk about it? Or D, he didn't want to kill again? In case you're wondering, if you can't see the picture, that is none other than Ed Kemper. Why did he call law enforcement and confess to what he had done after making a successful escape out of the city? Why did he do it? Janice, lemon pie, or B, cement shoes, D, Mary D. Mary, Sal, Purple, and Kitty Coo are all going with D. D. He didn't want to kill again. Now, family smile. Tammy's going with D as well. Why did this man call law enforcement after he successfully made his escape out of the city and confessed to what he had done? Good old Ed Kemper. Why did he do it? Question number 15. Which one sounds more like Ed Kemper? A reason why he would do something like that? Commit a double homicide and then call and confess to what he had done. Which one? 8 seconds. The answer to question number 15 is D as in dog. He did not want to kill again. This is in his own words. After he was in prison, well, not prison, the state hospital, which is kind of like prison, especially for someone like Kemper. But he sat down for an interview, and the interviewer asked him, why did you call your friend who was a police officer? He had called him directly and told him exactly what he did, where he was, and he sat there and waited for law enforcement to come and arrest him while he drank a Pepsi. He waited for him, and they came and they arrested him, and he then went into great detail about why he did it and what he did and everything else. Hey, Pippadot. Good evening. Welcome. All right. Question number 16. A cadet on their first week on the job was doing basic data entry work, noticed a former classmate was wanted, then remembered he recently posted to Snapchat. What was his update about on Snapchat? Was it A, he got a new job, B, he recently moved, C, he won the lottery, or D, he got a new girlfriend? A cadet on their first week on the job was doing basic data entry work, noticed a former classmate was wanted, then remembered he recently posted to Snapchat. What was his update about? E, his factory warranty expired. I get those calls all the time, and they're always for cars that I don't even own. Yeah, the other day I got one. Well, we like to talk to you about your Hyundai Elantra extended warranty. I've never even owned a Hyundai, but I don't know why they think I do. But they always think that I own either a Hyundai or the other one. Well, I talk to you about your extended warranty on on your Ford Explorer. I haven't owned a Ford Explorer in over 25 years. I have a Ford Escape, but I don't have a Ford Explorer. Lemon pie is going with B, cement C, Mary A, Sal A, and purple is going with A as well. Tammy is going with A. He got a new job. Kitty Coo is going with C. He won the lottery. Question number 16. A cadet on their first week of the job was doing basic data entry work and noticed a former classmate was wanted. Then remembered he recently posted to Snapchat. What was his update about? Ladies and gentlemen, question 16, the correct answer is B as in boy. He recently moved and he posted on Snapchat that he had just relocated to another city and got a new apartment. Wow. So the police department was very thankful for that because they went and snagged him right up. He posted to Snapchat that where he had just moved to, making it really easy for them to find him and bring him in and put him in jail where he belongs on his outstanding warrants. He's Team Edward. He kind of does look like that, doesn't he? All right, question 17. From the list below, which one is not a requirement to become head of the sheriff's department in most U.S. states? Is it A, psychological examination, B, a high school diploma or GED, C, a completed job application, or D, complete in-field training? From the list below, which one is not a requirement to become head of a sheriff's department in most U.S. states? Yeah, A, I'm guessing. Pippa dot B, submit A, Mary D, lemon pie a B. Which one is not required? Man, I would hope that every officer out there, who's in charge of making arrests and the investigations and stuff like that, I hope they're checking them for, psychological examination, making sure they're not like whacking nuts. But I hope that's not the answer. You would think that, that they would all have to have a high school diploma or a GED or some equivalent, right? Looking good in a Speedo. Oh. now, now I look at now I can't look at the picture on the screen because I get that visual. Looking good in a Speedo. You're twisted. I have a scary feeling I should have said A. All right, question 17. Janice, go with B, high school diploma or GED. From the list below, which one is not a requirement to become head of a sheriff's department in most U.S. states? All right, question 17. The correct answer is C as in cat, a completed job application. Most U.S. states and jurisdictions around the United States, the head of a sheriff's department is an elected official. They are not necessarily an officer who served time. Most people would prefer the head of the sheriff's department have law enforcement, experience, and they've applied for the job at some point. But a job application is not required. Most sheriff's departments, the head of the sheriff's department is an elected official. Oh my God, he's probably October man, the month of Mr. Speedo. Oh boy. All right, question 18. Of the 258 cases the Innocence Project has handled where DNA was able to exonerate the guilt, how many gave false confessions? Was it A, 75%, B, 65%, C, 25%, or D, 15%? No need for this application. I'd like to cut off your gib. Maybe he's related to someone and forced no application needed. Of the 258 cases the Innocence Project has handled where DNA was able to exonerate the guilt, how many gave false confessions? Question number 18. Mary's going with B, lemon pie B, kitty B. Sal is going with C. What's the fudge? What's the fudge? Of the 258 cases, that's a lot of people exonerated who never should have been in jail in the first place. DNA was able to exonerate their guilt. I know nobody wants to think about it, but we've had people exonerated from death row who had a day already picked out. The state had already picked out their death date and everything else. These people were exonerated from death row. Not a lot, but there have been a few. But other ones were given, extraordinary sentences for crimes that they never committed. They always maintain they're innocent, and DNA evidence eventually proved that they did not do it. Barry Morphy blowing meth with a mountain lion. Blowing meth up a mountain lion. Keep the coots going. See, maybe see. C seems so probable. Question number 18. Dipodot and Purple are going with C as well. They're handling Darley Rotier now? Really? I did not know that. I don't know. I think Darley's guilty as snot, but that's just my own personal opinion. It doesn't mean factual. Of the 258 cases the Innocence Project has handled where DNA was able to exonerate the guilt, how many gave false confessions? The answer to question number 18 is C as in cat. 25% of the 258 cases gave false confessions. Of those 20, in that 25%, 6 of them were beaten. They were beaten by law enforcement and made to sign a false confession because obviously they wanted to solve the crime and they said, you're guilty. We don't give a shit about what the evidence says. But 6 of them were beaten by officers. George Stinney was executed at 14 and later exonerated. George Stinney, yeah. What did George Stinney actually do? I mean, and really, that's an ugly part of our history that we have to admit really happened. That really took place. Guessing someone pleaded guilty to get a name. Holy crap! Yep. All right. Question number 19. From 1980 to 2020, what is the recidivism rate in America for all crimes? Recidivism means to re-offend. Is it A, 98%, B, 54%, C, 64%, or D, 44%? What is the recidivism rate in America? He whistled at a woman. Yep, a white woman. Some confess to escape the death penalty. From 1980 to 2020, what is the recidivism rate in America for all crimes? So we're not looking at just one type of crime like auto theft, someone who steals a car, gets caught, and then they go out and steal another car. Or drug offenses, they get busted for selling drugs, they go out and sell drugs again. What is the recidivism rate for all crimes? All crimes in America. What is the recidivism rate? From 1980 to 2020. And you'll be happy to know, since 2020, in the last 3 years, the recidivism rate has actually fallen. Yeah, I was surprised to read it actually had fallen. And I'll tell you how much it's fallen once I give you the answer to question number 19. They're doing testing, and I think she is innocent. Just recently took on her case. Oh, wow. Darley Rotier. Okay, question number 19. The correct answer is D as in dog, 44%, 44.444%. It was the recidivism rate between 1980 and 2020. It is now, since 2020, the recidivism rate is now 42.5%. Down, a little, but not a lot. But 44% is the recidivism rate between 1980 and 2020 for all crimes. All right, question 20. November 7th, 1982, Rebecca Garday was waiting for a bus when it started to rain. Who did she eventually get a ride from? Was it A, Ted Bundy, B, Gary Ridgway, C, Jim Jones, or D, Pogo the Clown, aka John Wayne Gacy? November 7th, 1982, Rebecca Gardier was waiting for a bus when it started to rain. You think it's because they haven't been caught yet? It might be. But they look at the total year after the years happen, not like, in order to get the complete statistics. Is that person returning over and over again for the same crimes? And a lot of it probably also has to do with, COVID and the COVID closures, and shutdowns where people were out and about. So the recidivism rates probably dropped because of that. Maybe they'll go back up to 44% after, here, in the next year. I don't know. Sal's going with A, Mary, Pippa Dot, and Lemon Pie. B, Tammy. B, Purple. D. I'm thinking 1982, and weren't the others all in jail or in Gunya? Ted would keep her? Well, as I was telling you earlier about, Debbie Harry, she got away from Ted Bundy. She isn't the only one. There were other women who survived, an attack by Ted Bundy. Enough so that they picked him out of a lineup. They were able to convict him of a crime, give him the electric chair. Fry Teddy Fry. What, Kitty Q? What does your T-shirt say about Ted Bundy? What was it? I sorry, I'm drawing a blank in what the T-shirt said. Janice is going with B. Yeah, my book didn't arrive yet. The serial killer calendar book, day in the life of a serial killer. It has not. Burn, Bundy, burn. Thank you, Kitty Q. But my book hasn't arrived yet. It was supposed to be here this morning by 8 a.m. Hasn't arrived yet. Darn UPS. It's coming UPS. So do they do Sunday deliveries? Yes. But it says it's out for delivery and it hasn't arrived yet. Well, at least since I sat down here. I mean, it could have come. It could be, on my front porch right now, for all I know. All right. Question 20. November 7th, 1982, Rebecca Gardier was waiting for a bus when it started to rain. Who did she eventually get a ride from? The correct answer is B as in boy, Gary Ridgway. He picked her up in a maroon colored pickup truck. She once she got in and they started to drive away when he was, towards her destination, she said she got a really creepy vibe from him, but he was a dull, boring individual, is what she told the news station about Gary Ridgway, that he was dull. Because they made small talk as he drove the truck. But she was able to get away and survive from Gary Ridgway. Only one out running around was Ridgway. Screenshots. All right, bonus question time, ladies and gentlemen. In what country do law enforcement officers use nets and paintballs to catch fleeing criminals instead of guns or other weapons? Is it A, France, B, Japan, C, Germany, or D, Antarctica? In what country do law enforcement officers use nets and paintballs to catch fleeing criminals? My cat is in my window. What is he doing? Go in through the pet door. Get out of the window. He's just staring at me through the window. Like, hey, what are you doing in there? Meow, meow. Yeah, I see you too. I'd go get him, but he'd probably run off before I get to the door. I have to go through two doorways to get to where he's at. Outside the window. He's just sitting there staring at me. He can go into the pet door if he wants, but in what country do law enforcement officers use nets and paintballs to catch fleeing criminals instead of guns or other weapons? The correct answer is B as in boy. In Japan, they use nets and paintballs to stop a fleeing criminal from getting away in Japan. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all 21 questions on tonight's trivia. So how did you do tonight on these trivia questions to catch a criminal? Of the 21 questions, I knew exactly 7 of the 21. That's all I knew was 7. You love this one? Good. I'm glad you had fun. It's definitely different from always talking about serial killers or monsters out there. Better than most times, says Stardust. Well, good. Carts are a mess. That's the holes. Great trivia. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Dang, I missed the bonus question. Oh, I'm sorry, Tammy. Did you miss it the question completely? I'll put it back up on the screen for you to look at. Of course, I got to scroll all the way through them all. Bonus question. In what country do law enforcement officers use nets and paintballs to catch fleeing criminals instead of guns or other weapons? Will, you do a great job for us every week. Let's have a Will appreciation week. Oh, thank you, Janice. I appreciate it. I missed about 4 or 5, but I had fun. Well, good, Sal. That's all that matters. And if you learned something, even if you didn't do all that great on the trivia questions, as long as you had fun and maybe you learned something new. Stay safe out there. Never know who's going to be standing next to you, and you never know who's going to be knocking on your door. Isn't that true, Purple? You never know. About 70%. Yikes. Yeah. And the bonus question, the answer is B, Japan. Japan is the answer to the bonus question. Three for me, 85%. Good job, Mary. Kyra Ora. Will and friends. Kyra Ora to you as well, Amelia. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier, if you were here. But I hope you're having a terrific weekend. Staying safe out there from all the fireworks and everything else that are going on. Well, at least here in America they are. I'm not. I don't know if they celebrate, Independence Day, where you are. Unable to stay in chat today. Shout out to and thumbs up. I hope you all are doing well. I'm doing terrific. Thank you. You, I hope, have a terrific week ahead. Bye, Pippidot. You have a terrific week ahead, Pippidot. These are all my new subscribers to my channel and some that are returning. Or at least that's what it tells me on my dashboard. That some of them I may have missed in previous weeks, but where it says rejoining means that either they were unsubscribed and then they resubscribed, or something happened. But it shows me on my end that they are a returning subscriber. Some of these you may notice from the actual comment sections in videos or here on the live streams as well. Nope, an average working Monday here. Yeah, I have to work Monday as well. No rest for the wicked, as I like to say. But you guys don't have an Independence Day down yonder? Happy 4th of July in advance. Happy 4th of July to everyone. Happy Independence Day here in America for everyone who celebrates it. Have a great night, people. You as well, Lemon Pie, and thank you again for stopping in and playing trivia with us tonight. I hope you have a terrific week ahead. Happy 4th of July. Even less for the righteous, Will. Yeah, no rest for the wicked or the righteous. Thank you, Will, and mods and chat. Well, thank you, Kitty Coo. I hope you have a terrific week ahead. Does anybody have any suggestions before I go tonight for other trivia nights down the road? Get my list out here. I have the other. I told you about the person who emailed me and asked me about Barry Morphew. They suggested the Amityville murders. That was their suggestion. And the one that a lot of people have been asking about, the most is Dean Corell. Is on the top of the list. He's not going to be the next one, but he's the the one that I've gotten the most suggestions about so far. Will has the best group of people. Well, thank you, Stardust. I hope that everyone feels welcome and safe here in this community, because that's what matters the most to me. Some people are in it for the for a pat on the back or the glory, or if you could say. Others are in it for the money. I just like to do these things. This is me. I find this stuff interesting. Andre Calito, and someone's lighting off fireworks right now as I hear them outside. Caitlin Armstrong. The Toolbox Killers. All suggestions from viewers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take off here. So I want to thank everyone for stopping in and playing trivia tonight with us. Don't forget, Monday morning, I will have the next trivia question up on the community tab here on YouTube, and answer it, and they'll give you an idea what the next Sunday's trivia is all about. But Monday, I try to get them up by 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, add or subtract, time, depending upon where you are in the world. But thank you again to each and every one of you for stopping in tonight. And I really do appreciate it. And stay safe out there for the 4th of July. If you're going to be lighting off any fireworks this week or tonight, or whatever you might be doing, or if you're even celebrating it at all, just remember, the 4th of July weekend is also the, one of the busiest holidays when it comes to DUI arrests. People go out and do dumb, stupid stuff besides just fireworks on the 4th of July. So stay safe out there, everyone. You have a terrific week ahead. I will see you next time.